What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And in this one we're going to be building a simple flower bed, and we're going to be using these old, pretty ugly pieces of wood. They've been sitting out in the backyard for God knows how many years, and as you can see they're pretty caked with dirt. So first things first, we're going to have to give them a nice cleanup. So of course I can't think of a better and more satisfying way to clean these off than throwing them to the mercy of the power washer. I basically give the same power wash treatment to all the boards I'm going to be using and let them dry overnight, and then it's off to the sander. So here I'm just kind of obviously sanding, but leveling off all the little inconsistencies and abnormalities in the board just so it's a smooth surface. Now once all the boards are sanded, we're going to hit them with some stain. And I got this waterproof stain and sealer. I like the color of it a lot. Kind of gives it a dark brown. And it's almost paint colored, but not quite. And I think it looks really good on these boards. And of course I give all the boards the same stain treatment and leave them out for a couple days and just let them fully dry out. And here's the difference between kind of a similar board to what we'd originally started with on the left and the new stained board over on the right. And we can see there's definitely a pretty stark difference. I'm pretty happy with the result. Now we get to start putting it together, and I get to use one of my favorite little clamps. I usually don't get to use this too often, but whenever I can, it's always such a cute little guy, and it's perfect for this to hold the tape measure in place so I can mark my pilot holes. And to attach our boards together, I'm going to be using these exterior trim screws, 1 5/8 inch. And why not just add some more clamps just for good measure. And here, just going to go through and drill out my pilot holes. And then we get to attach our screws. And with that, the first side of our flower bed is secure. Now we get to do the same exact thing to the other side. And now I'm just going to cut out our ends so they'll fit in the slots here on the side. And here, as you can see, I had to sand a little bit because it was a little uneven. We're just going to have to go through back and stain that a little bit afterwards. But our side is now attached, and that's not going anywhere. And I'll do the same thing to the other side. And then with both ends attached, it's time to break out the stain and patch up those little areas. And now I kind of wanted some decorative corner braces on the ends, but I didn't want them to be silver, and unfortunately Home Depot for some reason didn't have black. So I decided to get some silver ones and then just get a can of spray paint and blast them with some black. Now I just get to move those off to the side so they don't stick to the paint, and then dry. Now I get to spray paint the screws for those silver corner braces, and I figured the best way to do that was just drill them all into an old 2x4 and give them a good old coat. And that worked perfectly fine. Now I get to attach them to the side of our flower bed. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how those turned out. Now the bed is pretty much all done. The only thing I have left is an old tarp that I kind of cleaned off and repurposed and cut out just so it'll give a little more protection to the bed itself. I have to go through and fit it in place, and of course, knowing me, I'm going to be using some more clamps here. And then we'll just secure it in place with a few staples. Okay, it's definitely more than a few. And now that this thing is composed of probably more stainless steel than it is wood, I'm going to cut off the excess tarp here, and we're pretty much all done. Now the final step, since the tarp isn't like a permeable mesh like you'd usually use with these types of landscaping or flower bed projects, I decided to just drill a few holes in the bottom here just for some drainage, so there's not standing water in the bottom. And I decided to drill 3 of them. And with that, the flower bed is complete and it's ready to go out in the yard. Just going to give it a quick little cleanup here, and we are all done. So I just want to say thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was relaxing. And we got plenty more in the pipeline to come out soon, so keep your eyes peeled, and I will see you in the next one.